Well, welcome to Green Signals, live from the greatest gathering at Derby Litchurch Lane. From me, Richard Bowker, and...
And from me, Nigel Harris. It's normally the other way around, so that's good.
It's normally the other way around, but we're doing things slightly... We're doing quite a lot of things slightly differently on this one.
Oh, yes.
A few housekeeping things just to tell you about before we get into it. We're using a Starlink satellite system to stream onto YouTube. We'd like to say a big thanks to DB Cargo, Mike Gray and Russell Wardle and the team at DB Cargo for letting us use their system. Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
We are, however, loading it to the max. So if the image buffers or pauses briefly during the show, don't adjust your sets. It's just going to play catch up and then it'll be fine. So just bear that in mind.
Of course, we can expect all sorts of screen grabbers like this.
Can you do that again?
No, however we're frozen.
Right. I'm glad. The other just thing to mention is weather. We've got a little bit of light drizzle here in Derby at the moment. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't stop us if it's like this. If it gets really heavy, then we'll have to pause the live stream. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that won't be the case. We're going to be on till about 11:30 live. We've the most impressive is running. Very kindly told us when they're actually going to be doing announcements, so we'll be able to hopefully pause when they do that. But just bear in mind if you hear a bit of background noise. So we're here. We're finally here.
It's been that thing that's coming for ages, and all of a sudden it's on top of you, and it's good. I mean, it's really exciting. It is a fantastic show.
That was Prince in the background.
Was it? It's a chime whistle for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's extraordinary what we've got here. So literally about 100 metres from where we are, the Festiniog Railway have brought the Festiniog Railway, literally.
A short piece of it, and Prince, the oldest engine they've got, I think, isn't it?
Is that right?
I'm guessing. Well, I think it is. It's certainly a real veteran from the early days.
And I think at the other, they're doing it push-pull, and at the other end is a locomotive. I can't remember the name of it. We'll check this. But is the newest, it was the last narrow gauge steam railway built commercially in Britain.
I looked at the works plate last night, having heard that, and it actually says 1971 on
1971.
it. Yeah.
So after the end of steam on the main line, they were still building narrow gauge steam.
It would seem so.
Absolutely remarkable. Well, look, one of the things that we've been doing as we've been walking round is taking a few pictures, bits of video of some of the engines that are actually here. So what we're going to do is show you a short video now of some of the diesel exhibits that we've got here. And so I hope you enjoy this. So as they say, roll VT. So first image of a trio of Class 08s, introduced from 1952. Unbelievable, 73 years old. Even older than you there, Nigel. That's quite an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, but only by about 5 years.
Only by about 5 years. Class 17, pilot scheme locomotive, Clayton. Pretty disastrous, actually. This is the only one, D8568, that is still preserved. From disaster to great success, Class 37 must be one of the most successful locomotives ever. 309 produced, 100 still running in various forms. This is 37401, Mary Queen of Scots.
They never look old.
They never look old. In fact, here's a good example. Here's 37418, now in service, I think, leased to La Ram Rail, which is used for track inspection. Pulling 975025, Caroline, the former Southern Region GM saloon, which, believe it or not, was used in the Royal Train for Charles and Di on the first section for their honeymoon. Yeah, apparently it was. Have we still got Caroline there actually on the video? We're doing this live, as they say.
I've been lucky enough to travel in it.
Have you indeed? Here's 47739, GB Rail Freight, brush type 4. Oh, it's not apparently. I'm in real trouble.
It's 40.
It's 41. How did I mistake the finest locomotive ever built for British Rail? Class 40, that is. Right, anyway, so now it is 47739 GB Rail Freight. Brush type 4, 512 of these built. Loughborough and Crewe between 62 and 68. Unbelievable. Class 50s, I think. Yep, so in unusual livery, we've got 035 Art Royal and 044 Exeter here, 50 in class. If you're as old as Nigel, you'll remember them running on the West Coast.
That's twice today.
50049 Defiance here, with a pile of coal in front, absolutely remarkable. Furnace 20 actually in the background, so quite impressive there. And anyway, So D8, Penny Ghent, Peak, Class 44, Sulzer Type 4, 1959, one of the original pilot scheme locos, 57604 in the background. I think we've got D821 Greyhound there, and D1015 Western Champion. So a couple of diesel hydraulics from the Western region. D1015, one of the 7 to survive. I think we're going to be moving on to Deltic soon. Class 55 Deltic, 100 mile an hour, twin Napier Deltics, 3,300 horsepower, the most powerful single unit diesel locomotive ever built. And so we've had 55009, Elyssidon, which you've just seen, and this is D9015 Tullyar in two-tone green, both owned by the Deltic Preservation Society. 56045. I don't ever remember them being this clean. I don't think they ever were. 135 built, merry-go-round trains, heavy haul locomotives, absolutely remarkable in this condition. 66004, Class 66, Electromotive, built 1998 to 2015. 480 of these produced, Nigel.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Absolutely ubiquitous. This is 66004, Climate Hero. And we finish with 67005, one of the Class 67s, 30 of these built 25 years ago, already scrapped one, would you believe? This is 67005, King's Messenger, with full regalia. So there we go. A quick snapshot of diesel locomotives that you can see here at the Greatest Gathering.
I was impressed with that, Richard. The name Peter O'Sullivan sprang to mind.
It was a little bit, wasn't it?
You were going, especially when some of the racehorse names were involved as well. It sounded like a racehorse comment.
Yeah, the only slight problem is my colleagues at the Class 40 Preservation Society are going to go, sorry, you messed up one, and it had to be a Class 40.
But I'm going to let a bit of sunlight in on magic here.
Yeah,
because that was really impressive, Richard, because what our viewers don't know is that you couldn't see that picture.
I couldn't see.
And there was a fantastic array of hand signals going on between Charlie, Richard's son over there, who's on the tech desk, who was waving about like this whenever the picture changed, and Richard worked through the script. I was impressed.
That was quite good, wasn't it?
It was.
A little bit mad.
Talking with great authority about something you can't see.
No, well, okay. Well, thank you for that. Hope that was interesting. We've got a similar thing with some of the steam locomotives here. There's some AC electric, so we'll be bringing you some reels of those as well a bit later. Now, one of the things we want to talk about is our membership.
We do.
May. One of the things that keeps this channel going are our brilliant members, and we've already seen quite a few of them have come up and said hello to us already whilst we've been here.
Yeah, people who, I mean, including one chap who said it got him through some very difficult time with.
Yeah. If you're supporting the channel and joining our membership scheme, there's all sorts of goodies you can get. We're doing 50% off as a Greatest Gathering offer. We can only do it on Patreon. We can't do it on YouTube. But it gets you all sorts of stuff, exclusive videos. We're going to be doing a director's cut of the Greatest Gathering weekend. GG50 off is the code, and it will be valid until August the 8th. So if you're interested in that, sign up on Patreon. And so I think we're now back to the studio, as they say.
And we'll be doing some special stuff for our existing members as
We are going to do some special stuff for existing members.
They won't feel left out. But
what's the best thing you've seen so far?
It's really difficult because it really is a fantastic gathering, isn't it? What's the best thing I've seen so far? It's sort of a group thing, really. The fantastic standard you said about the 56, you'd never seen them that clean. The effort that the companies have gone to and the owners to turn these engines out in fantastic order. You and I stood there yesterday watching a guy up a ladder polishing Scott's Guardsman's nameplate with an industrial-sized can of Brasso. You know, just to see that fantastic love and dedication and commitment everywhere.
It is remarkable, isn't it? Well, I think the thing I've seen the most, actually, in the last 48 hours are cans of Brasso.
Yeah. There should be a sponsor, really, when you think about it. But you say about... The bookends I find interesting, like you mentioned FR20 there,
Yes.
the oldest standard gauge working locomotive in the country from the 1860s.
Yeah.
Beautifully presented by the Furness Railway Trust. And I mean, it's really great to see that sort of thing. I've been lucky enough to drive it in pouring rain, actually, so that you did get a sense of what an 1860s engine man had to put up with.
Yeah.
But you look at all the work that these people are doing, and it is absolutely brilliant.
One of the interesting things, somebody's made a comment, I think, on YouTube and said, oh, there's lots of duplicates. And there are quite a few 37s and quite a few 50s and quite a few there's a couple of Deltics and there's a couple of 40s. I don't mind that. I think, you turn up to a classic car rally, and if there's 5
Good point.
Ferrari
Good point.
GT 250s there, you don't go, oh, that's kind of 4 too many, do you? I think
No, that's true. And to see a spread of engines is I mean, I haven't seen the Class 50 display, but I'm sure it looks pretty good.
I think it amazing, and they've done a couple of 50s in which we showed on that little video a few moments ago, wrapped in sort of Greatest Gathering livery. I think they look really quite distinctive. I'm sure they won't stay in that, but they look interesting.
But there's some things have happened, haven't they, that you'll never see again, like seeing the VIP train, which was a 390, a Pendolino, hauled in here by a Class 57. I mean, that's a rare bit of track mileage, isn't it?
I was going to say, so that was a Branch Line Society tour, wasn't it, that they'd done? And
they'll have to go some to beat that.
They will have to go some. I mean, watching it here, we've got some footage of that, actually. Maybe we'll show that on a later stream, of the 57 coming in pulling the Pendolino.
And it just shows a 57 can pull a Pendolino still, didn't it?
Are you getting excited about the idea of dragging Pendolinos?
Well, you said it, Richard. That's what they were converted for, wasn't it? And just to remind everybody that it can be done still.
No, absolutely. And interestingly, on that train was Chris Green, former CEO of Virgin Rail Group, Chris Gibb, of the Chief Operating Officer. I mean, both of those know an awful lot about dragging Pendolinos. So, hopefully we may see some of that
Let us hope we see it again.
It would be absolutely remarkable to do that. Now, one of the other fascinating things about this is it's not just the locomotive exhibits. There's an extraordinary number of other displays. Have you had a chance to have a look in some of the shops where
not too much, no. There's the nameplates and works plates. There's several tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds of value there of totems and nameplates and work plates and goodness knows what. I
was going to mention the totem display. So I hope I haven't got this wrong. I think it's in U Shop. So if you're actually on site and you head over to U Shop, there's some fantastic displays there, including this massive board of totems. And of course, it's guess which is the most most valuable. One of the ones that's there which really caught my eye, was Roseley, which of course was on the line through Matlock, on the old Peak line through Matlock station, very close to where I used to live. But apparently, they reckon the most valuable there may be Derby Friargate.
Oh, the old Great Northern Station.
Of which there are very few, and it is in absolutely immaculate, as just taken off the lamppost condition. It's stunning. It really is stunning.
I mean, in my own connections, I understand totems from Lakeside Station on the Furness branch are also very rare. I don't think there's one over there.
Is that because the stations were quite small and so there weren't that many?
I think it possibly was, or maybe they were liberated towards the end.
Liberated? Is that a euphemism for something? No, that's absolutely terrific.
I have seen one or two, but they're wonderfully collectible things to have. I mean, the advertising manager on Steam Railway when I was there, Colin Tyson, he collected them on a liner route in the Southern, so they're all green ones.
Wow.
And he had the full liner route that he wanted. And I guess as a collection then, they're probably more valuable than if you were to sell them individually. I don't know. But,
that's interesting. I don't know about that. The other thing on the other side of the display, so they've got this fantastic display. It's got all the totems on one side, and then on the other side, there's some nameplates and work plates. And my eye was immediately drawn to one, which was, we were talking about the peaks earlier, and we had those on the video. We had D8 Penny Ent and D4 Great Gable. They've got the nameplate and the works plate for D10 Triven.
Now, they're supposed to, as a set, they're particularly valuable, aren't they?
Are they?
Like steam locos, if you've got a cab side or the nameplate
and
the small box number plate, if you've got the set, they are probably very expensive. I remember as a boy spotter, being ecstatic on one of those overnight coach trips that involved totem, and we saw all first 10.
You saw all 10?
I think they were all there.
That is very... See, I never saw... I saw a few of them, but I never saw all 10. I certainly never saw number 1, which I think was Scarfell Pike, and number 10, Triven. I never saw those. So you've got one on me there, Nigel.
Well, I am old, as you keep reminding me.
As I keep reminding you, yeah. Anyway, one of the things that's actually going on here at the Greatest Gathering, which is really interesting, is there's a lot of actual interactive exhibits. So we've mentioned the Festiniog Railway have got prints here,
and you can have a ride.
You can actually go and have a ride on that.
I think it's a couple of 100 metres of track, so it's a
quite
worthwhile
extraordinary,
trundle,
actually,
as they say.
I think the Perrygrove Railway are here
Yes, they are by the main gate.
with their 15-inch gauge, which I don't know whether they're running, but I hope they are. It'd be great
Well, when
to
we were
see.
set up, they didn't have all the track down because they needed lorries in it. But I
Oh,
was
that's
told that
right.
they were going to lay the track and they would be running. So
Fantastic.
let's hope so. 'Cause that,
There are a few things which I know you had to get extra tickets for, but we've got the test tracks operating. So I think there's an Elizabeth line, class 345, running up the test track.
yeah.
I think there is also Rail Operations Group are here with a class 93, and they're doing
The
cab rides.
99's here as well.
And the 99 is here as well. I don't think you actually go
No,
on that.
it's not-
You can
that's
actually,
not interactive,
No, that's
no.
not. But you can go on the 93, which is absolutely amazing.
And again, on the bookend principle, at the other end of the scale, you've got the 99, the oldest, or the newest,
Yeah.
if you like, freight loco. The original locomotion is here, the real one that we
Isn't
saw
that
yesterday.
remarkable?
And you look at that and you think, well, that is actually the thing that started it all off. But to have a display where you've got locomotion at one end and the 99 at the other, that really is quite something. So we ought to, not for the first time, put in a big hat tip to Alstom for doing all this, because something like this is very difficult to arrange.
Really hard.
And there's so many groups and people involved, and you walk round, and when I got here this morning, they'd clearly been shunting all night because the yard looked very different to when we left last night, and that was quite late. So a big salute to the shunters who were moving stuff around in the wee small hours.
Well, it was incredible that, because we are going to have a number of guests come and join us on the show. One of those guests is going to be Gus Dunster and James Dobson, who've been part of the organising committee for the Greatest Gathering. James and Gus were going to come on first thing, and I got a text from them saying, it's 1:45. We've just finished shunting.
Oh, dear.
Can we come on a bit later?
Yeah.
Of course they can. So yeah, absolute hat tip to the guys that have transformed this tableau here.
And then what you've got to remember is, come Monday morning, the poor beggars have to come back and do it all again.
And I'm delighted to say we have got some special
We
guests
have.
who are going to come and join us, and here they are.
What-
I think.
Yeah.
Go and jump over there.
Two of Britain's
your
best loved
microphone on.
broadcasters.
Good to see you.
Mark, we haven't met, but I'm a long time. Try not to go all fanboy now.
Mark, grab a seat.
Jeremy.
Hi, Nigel.
An
great to see
old
you,
friend.
Richard. Hi.
Good to see you.
I wasn't expecting to see you dressed quite like that.
Okay, I can explain. I went to see. Well, we've already had a complaint from someone who says I referred to the Flying Scotsman.
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
it's just
So,
Flying
And we've
Scotsman.
had someone say, if you do that again, they're cancelling their licence fee. So
Oh,
I
wow.
went to see
Fair enough.
Flying Scotsman,
A measured reaction.
and I leant on the buffer at the front, and the buffer has an enormous amount of oil and soot on it. Nobody told me.
And
I
it's
then-
now on your face.
I then wiped my face. So I did manage to get it off my hands. So I apologise in advance.
You're looking very authentic, I have to say.
Well, it's not a costume. But I'm bowled away by this whole thing. It's amazing. Honestly, I'm just... And
Well,
Mark
see-
has just arrived, but I was saying, it's a whole world here. It's a world of joy. This is a trained person's Disneyland.
Yes, it is. It is. And it's a huge collection. The railway, you and I have talked about this before, but the railway didn't just influence who we are. The railway made us what we are. And it's great to see it all in one. And good to see Radio 2 and you two here, travelling north of the... Well, you are in
I've
Northern
travelled south.
Yeah.
Although I travelled north yesterday from train.
That's what we
You know
want
what I
to
mean?
hear.
Do you know what I mean? Because like the bus replacement service, we don't mention that here, do we?
No, we
No.
don't.
No.
No.
No. It doesn't exist.
And we have 3 Lancastrians up here.
Do we? Where are you guys from?
Burnley.
Burnley, we
yeah.
don't really talk about that, but
Right.
Oldham originally grew up in Blackburn.
Right,
So there you go.
and I'm Bolton because when I
Wow,
saw
well, there we
when I
go.
saw
Can I
Jeremy
just throw Cheam down as a challenge?
when I saw Jeremy this morning, the person he reminded me was a slightly taller version of Fred Dibner, who was a man who liked to train. Who was my
Gymnast.
fellow Boltonian. In fact, Fred Dibner lived on Radcliffe Road
Did
in
he?
Bolton. Yes,
Wow,
he
there
did.
we go.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I see you're wearing high vis, and I don't want to take any high vis anywhere near these monsters out, these beautiful trains. So I said to someone, have you got clothes that are authentically? And he said, yeah, just put my coat on and put my hat on. So I'd like to apologise to Martin, because I walked away from this lovely gentleman who now has no coat or hat.
That coat's quite cool. That's
It's
that is
wonderful.
kind of workwear, isn't it? That's kind
Oh,
of.
it is.
I think
I
that's
was
on
in the
message.
cabin.
That.
I was in the cabin of a 1936 Blackfire train, Black 5.
Black 5.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. And I loaded the furnace, the firebox, with coal from the, I'm going to get this, the coal space.
The tender.
The tender.
Steam locomotives have a tender behind,
You're
Jeremy.
doing very well,
The
Jeremy.
tender, and then I looked at the dials and the pipes and the handles and levers, and I went like that, and it made the sound.
No, that's thrilling, isn't
It's
it?
amazing.
When did steam trains as passenger trains go out of service?
August 1968.
Right, you see, so
They
that,
are.
because I have memories as a kid of going to the coast on the steam train, because I was born in 1958, so that would make perfect
57
sense.
now,
Okay,
yeah.
so that would make perfect sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Going-
yeah.
going with my grandma on the
Blackpool
day out.
to-
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
before
yeah.
beaching? Because I go to
Yes,
Sidmouth
yes.
in Devon a lot, and blow me down, there was a station there, and it's now a car exhaust fitter.
Oh.
Because of course that line, Sidmouth, Tipton, Ottery, of course it was destroyed by that.
Yeah, that was
Road.
63. 63.
So, look, this is all wonderful stuff, but tell us about expressions I didn't expect to hear, a 21st century folk.
Well, he's the boss man on this.
It
Well,
surprised me
20
connecting with you, Jeremy. It doesn't with Mark. It
Well,
kind of fits your
21st
vibe.
21st century folk. I mean, in fact, there used to be a thing on the BBC called the Radio Ballads, started by Hugh McCall and Peggy Seeger. And the
John
first,
Axon.
Exactly. So
Best one of the lot.
Well, the first one of the lot, whether it's the best one is a matter of opinion. I think you might be sort of biased towards
It could be the
trade-related
fishermen
things.
and all the rest of it.
Okay, all right, yeah. But, I mean, that started in 1958, you're quite right.
They
John
were wonderful.
Axon,
Charles
which
Parker.
we don't need to go through the story of John Axon, which was a tragedy on the, up near our way, Stockport, Chapel on the
Chapel on the Firth.
Yeah,
exactly. So those really were folk music. What it's always done is tell stories of the lives people live.
Real
Particularly, I don't. Yes, I mean I'm struggling for the real people working. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Stories of everyday lives lived is part of what folk music is. And so 21st century folk was reviving the radio ballads, getting people to tell their stories and getting prominent folk musicians to put them to music. And it's been a great success, not at least because Jeremy's show supports it. All through the week, the artists, the storytellers go on Jeremy's show. So we're very grateful for that. And this year, with 200 years of the railways, it's all about stories related to people whose stories are related to rail. And there's some amazing stories, aren't there, Jeremy?
And yesterday I met a woman called Charlotte, and she had decided to take her own life on a train track, and the driver saw her stop, got out the train, knelt in front of her, said, "Are you having a bad day?" which is a wonderful thing to say, and got her to a place of safety. And afterwards she wanted to thank him, so she got in touch via Facebook. She found him, they went up for a cup of coffee, and they've now married with 2 children.
It's extraordinary.
Isn't that wonderful?
I said this is going to be
Wonderful.
like a film, and there is some talk.
But that's
And
right.
Kate wrote the point about it being Kate Rusby then comes in
Yeah.
with her husband Damien. They do a song, and the song is about this encounter and this moment on the tracks together, and how their 2 tracks are now running in parallel.
And
Oh,
a
brilliant.
great folk duo called Chris Weil and Julie Matthews, beautiful songwriters, harmony and guitar singers, and they wrote a song about a guy who was foundling at Reading Station.
No.
I mean, it's really
All around the railway, you see.
it's all
Yes,
around the
it's all
railway.
around the railway.
So it's
Yeah.
really I call this a wholly noble endeavour, and I really mean it. Because it's great music, great stories, and this year it all fits in with 200 years
well
of the
done for
railway.
doing that, because it
Well,
makes
well
it,
done
it
to the
makes it-
BBC and
but
Radio
it makes
2
it
for
very
backing it.
real, doesn't
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
And we know Joe Ormisher very well.
Right, yeah.
I mean, she's
Everybody knows Joe.
Everybody in the railway knows Joe, and I think she was one of the
She's the first.
folks-
That's
she
right.
was the first
so
one as
she's
well, right?
Firecracker. That's what her granddad called her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she at a certain moment in life saw a steam train, remembered her late grandfather, thought, I should be doing something on that.
Yeah.
She learnt to do the fire, loading, the tendering.
Oh, she's a fireman.
Yes.
She insists on being called a fireman.
A fireman, that's right. And the song was called Firecracker because that was her grandfather's nickname for her.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
It-
They are
it-
great
she has got a
stories.
great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been Facebooking and tweeting about that, saying this is not personal. She said it was the single most terrifying thing she's ever done. But she was
Being
it's
on
not
your
to do
show.
with you, but just the
Well, that's
experience.
it. I mean,
But she said she loved it.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
really
no,
pleased
yeah.
she did
He's
it.
very unpleasant to people when they go in the studio. He's smiling now, but honestly, he's vicious. when
I
he
know
goes
this
in.
not to be true. I've worked with him a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end as well. It's a
Oh,
long
God.
time.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no.
apparently you really
Terrifying.
fell out on Newsnight many years ago.
Really?
We had a very.
Richard used to be
punctual-
chairman of the
that was
Strategic
always
Rail
tough.
Authority.
Newsnight was always like that.
Mark,
Yeah.
just one quick. Am I right in my memory thinking you used to do that outdoor stage at Glastonbury where they used to do unplugged stuff?
Yeah. Well, I was at Glastonbury I started working on at Glastonbury around the age of the end of steam passenger railways,
Oh, right.
actually. No, I've been working in radio since the late Industrial Revolution, so I feel very at home.
Because we were doing this yesterday, said it's got to feel of that outdoor stage at Glastonbury.
Well, I mean,
And I remember
like
thinking you
Jeremy
and
says, it's Glastonbury for trains, isn't it? I mean,
It's funny,
it's an amazing thing.
I got a little program. I can put a still photo into it, and I can put an AI sort of treatment on it. And then my favourite one is steampunk, and I've always wondered what steampunk is. And when I was in the cabin of this steam train, and I turned back and I looked at this black metal surface with these gold brass dials on, I thought that's where steampunk. It must be it, right?
Yeah.
It's such a look about it. Everything is a big metal lever or
Well,
wheel.
I'll tell you what, if you get the chance whilst you're here, there's a locomotive called Sarah Siddons, which is actually an electric locomotive from the Metropolitan Railway. It must be about 100 years old. And that is classic steampunk, even though it's there with open contacts and all
electric.
It looks like something out of Frankenstein's monster. So if you get a chance to go and have a look at that, it's superb.
I mean, the sheer you sort of heft of the engineer. I mean, I think that people listening to your podcast obviously will be familiar with trains, but I mean, when we're talking on the radio, I think people won't quite get the scale of this thing, because obviously, if your exhibits are trains, they're pretty big.
They are pretty big.
So the scale of the thing is huge.
And you put your finger on a really thick, for me, it really counts out. You talk about the heft of engineering, and yet to the most thousandth of tolerances, those huge bits of metal, and it is the nearest thing to a living machine we have ever invented.
Yeah, and they're all still functioning, haven't they? The steam trains and everything have been brought here, haven't they? They don't live here.
Oh, no.
So they've had to travel here, so they're all functioning.
It's been an extraordinary logistic exercise.
I'm sure it has.
I think we only
have one question.
Yeah, go for it.
And this is for your listeners and viewers, really. I go on holiday to Devon a lot, and I go to Exmouth a lot. And in Exmouth, they had a little restaurant that was in an old railway carriage.
Right.
And then one day it wasn't there anymore. And I want to know what happened to it, because it was a lovely idea. Someone got
There you go. If you know, tell Jeremy.
So where in Devon, sorry?
It was Exmouth.
Exmouth,
and
right.
you were just by the seafront, and we would, when my kids were small, we would go and have lunch in this little railway carriage, and then suddenly it was gone. And I don't know if someone bought it or they threw it away or
Guarantee someone will know.
Please tell me.
Can I just interrupt, because you see that lady there?
Oh, they're waving.
You will recognise that gesture.
Oh, right, yeah, we've got a show to do.
You've got a show to do.
Get these two off.
Another minute, she'll be doing this.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Okay,
can we
right.
just say, Jeremy Vine, Mark Radcliffe,
Jeremy,
thank you
it's
lovely.
so much indeed.
Great to
Really
see you.
appreciate it.
Great to see you,
Thanks
guys.
for coming on.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
And a very, very final thing, if people want to listen to the folk, they can hear it on BBC Sounds.
BBC Sounds. Oh, it's all on there.
BBC Sounds, 21st
And catch up,
century
I guess,
folk.
you can
But
find it.
you can hear Jeremy's show
but
in 45 minutes.
don't tune out of this if you're listening live. But
No, I don't think we're competing. You're all
Okay,
right.
12 o'clock today.
No, tune out of this.
Right,
Yeah.
12 o'clock,
Yeah.
the Jeremy Vine show.
Yeah.
Great,
Every
fantastic.
And you're going to be
Guys,
dressed
thank
like that
you.
to do the
Thanks
show?
very
I am, of course.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to find Martin and give him his coat back at some point.
You
but-
better.
You're being beckoned by another lady
All right.
now.
You gotta go.
All right, I've got to
Right.
get the oil off my face.
Guys,
Cheers.
thank you so much indeed.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Jeremy.
Thanks a lot.
It's
Thank you.
really good to
Thank
see
you,
you.
Yeah, all
guys.
the
Thank you,
best.
Mark.
Cheers,
Yeah.
cheers,
I hope
guys.
it goes really well. Take care,
Nice to
mate.
see you.
You too.
Right,
Well, that was fun.
fantastic.
Brisk.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jeremy. Bye-bye. Good show. Have a good show.
fantastic.
Thanks,
Right,
Emma.
so therefore,
Right, shall we have our next guest?
we do have another guest here, and
Wheel
it
him
is
in.
none other than. Wait for it. We
Here
can't
he
even
is.
we can't do a drum roll, can we? It's Alex Hynes. It's Alex Hynes. Alex, come and
and
join
they're all
us.
saying, who?
I know.
Hello,
Good to see you, my friend.
lovely to see you.
Good to see you.
Well,
Alex Hynes, Director General of Rail Services at the Department for Transport.
I'm glad you said that, because I couldn't remember his job, and I was just about to ask him to introduce himself, so that's good.
Right. You must be the most important rail person here on the site. We've decided that.
There's no answer to that, is there?
Rubbish.
How do you answer that?
Well, the most important people in rail are the people who are delivering the services to
Oh,
customers
you see,
today.
there you go.
And I've just had a very, very pleasant journey up from St Pancras, which is lovely.
Shall we call him influential? One of the most influential.
Okay, yeah, influential's good.
And it's great to be here.
It's great.
The smell of steam trains, very evocative.
It's everywhere, isn't it? You just kind of there's Festiniog Railway down there, and every now and then we get a whiff
A
of
tang
it
of
as it kind
smoke.
of comes down.
Yeah.
And the sound of a mournful sound of a chime whistle.
No, I'm looking forward to having a wander around shortly. So,
You've only just arrived, presumably. You've not
Yes,
had a chance
correct.
to.
Yes, I'm going to have a look at Alstom's new train, their new platform. Have a wander around, see some friends. Bill Reeves here.
Bill
Transport
Reeve is indeed here.
Scotland,
Yeah.
Steve White,
You'll,
Southeastern, he's
you'll
here.
probably
apparently
go
with
no
his
more than
father.
10 metres in any direction without somebody stopping you to say hello.
Yeah. How's it going from your perspective?
It's going absolutely fine, but we are about to have a PA announcement, so that's the only thing to bear in mind. And you know what? It's really, really loud. So any second, it will literally go. So we'll let that. Normally, it's on the clock. Here we go.
At 11:30 in Hamden Halt, the turntable is in action. Don't miss it.
How good was that? That's pretty precise. Apparently, they're all pre-set
And
announcements running off the world clock, and literally you can set your watch by them. How cool is that?
Impressive. That was good.
So what are you looking forward to seeing most?
So I'm looking forward to catching up with some people.
Yeah.
Obviously, I spend quite a lot of time with ministers in London and getting out and about of London and talking to people who are running the railway or used to run the railway. Really important because that way you learn. As I said, looking forward to seeing Alstom's new train product. So, currently we've got Northern Transpennine and South Eastern in the market for new trains. So, and as I think we're in the process of doing a rolling stock strategy.
Very excited
for,
about that.
The railway, the DFT railway.
Be nice to have one of them, wouldn't it?
And
great.
so, it'd be good to talk to the rolling stock community about how we can make sure that that's a good piece of work.
So,
No, go for it.
It's slightly not a very flippant question. How are you enjoying being a Sir Humphrey then, Alex?
I love it. It's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I loved running the railway in Scotland, but I'd done it for 7 years, so I was looking for a new challenge, and this has been a good challenge.
So have you heard yourself say things like, that would be very brave, Minister?
Yeah, I mean, some people have pointed out to me that, I've, probably a bit more precise over my language than I used to be. But it's a brilliant place to work. I have never worked with so many clever, hard-working people. It is absolutely
He's trying to pull it back now.
And,
He's doing a very good job.
I'm really enjoying it. It's a great privilege, actually, to work at the centre.
I didn't say want a privilege.
At the centre of things. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah,
and I think in the last 12 months, I think quite a lot of good things have happened.
So are you finding that you've got levers to pull and that there's things fastened to the bottom of the levers that move things?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, as making sure that we're delivering good value for taxpayers, and there's evidence to suggest that the railway is getting better in both of those respects.
It's a really interesting point. There is evidence actually, and it's. Do you think we're, as a sector, and everybody's got a stake in this, whether it's government, operator, do you think we're good enough at explaining that, or do you think there's a risk that if you do explain it, people go, yeah, but that's not my experience? How do we get that message out?
He would say that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's a human being. It's a human thing to focus on the negative. It's what keeps us alive, right? And so, particularly, people in senior management jobs focus on the problems that need to be fixed in front of them, But actually, if you look at our railway, 8-9 times out of 10, we get it right.
Yeah.
If you look at customer satisfaction, the latest customer satisfaction, 87%. 9 out of 10 customers are happy with the service.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we want to make it better, and we will make it better.
But let's not underplay where it's right.
And absolutely, and it's that celebrating without becoming complacent, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we get paid to make things better. We can always do better tomorrow than we do today, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely right. So, well, look, it's fantastic to see you. Thank you so much for popping by. I mean, do you know what the best thing was when Alex was appointed? I thought we got a real railway person at the heart of government.
One of us.
I still think that,
Yeah.
and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I remember I was reflecting on the way up here about how I got into the rail industry, and I didn't grow up. Studied at Leeds University around the time the railways were privatised, and I remember seeing this train at Leeds Station thinking, wow, that looks fantastic, it must be the Royal Train. But it wasn't, it was GNER, and they'd produced this fabulous new livery, and as someone who knew nothing about trains, it really sparked my imagination. And then of course my mother has since reminded me that my great-great-grandfather used to make steam engines at the Vulcan Village.
Newtonley Willows.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah,
now that's
yeah,
a little.
yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Fantastic.
So you got real railway DNA in there.
Yeah. I didn't even know I did, but I do. And I've actually got a picture of me baby Alex Hynes in the arms of my great-great-grandfather. I was looking at it on
Who
the train on
worked at
here.
the Vulcan?
The Vulcan foundry.
He was a riveter.
I think we've got another announcement coming in a minute. But,
We've got another announcement coming, but apparently this is the last one.
2
Alex.
seconds, apparently. Go announcement.
Yeah, he was a riveter. Made
At
steam trains.
11:30 in the entertainment zone, be sure to meet Zeus, Europe's largest walking Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Now, whilst you're just there, Alex, we've got another guest who's just joined us, who I think is somebody you may know.
I
It's
do.
like Zoo
I do.
broadcast.
Here
I know
he
him very
is.
well.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello,
Nick
Mr.
Millington.
Nick Millington. Hello, Nick.
Root-
How are you?
Yeah, grab a seat, Nick. Nick Millington, Route Director, Wales and Borders for Network Rail. Welcome, Nick.
Good morning, everyone.
Everybody knows Alex.
And how's your patch then, Nick?
I've been all over it this week.
Like
it's,
a rash.
It's running reasonably well, but there's always room for improvement.
Good answer.
We've survived the hot weather, and we're getting ready for autumn.
What's different? This because we've had some incredibly hot weather
Yeah.
this year, but I don't recall there have been as much fuss on the radios about disruption or anything else. Have we handled it better, or has it not been as hot? Or
I think after 2022, we've done an awful lot of work
'Cause something's
on
different.
infrastructure that's susceptible to heat.
Yeah.
So
it's
if
more
you-
resilient.
Yeah, and it's not been as hot either. It's been hot, but it's not been as hot.
Okay.
So, but if you look at the types of infrastructure that are susceptible, we've done a hell of a lot of work. Timber bearer switch and crossing layouts, old overhead OHLE equipment. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just getting
well
a call
done,
from our tech desk, which we probably did. We are doing this live. So what do we do? Are we? Is there? Oh right, your mic's distorted apparently.
Sorry, Mike.
That's, how's that?
How's that?
Is that better? Say something, Nick.
You have to say something.
Is that better?
It's not. Well, I'm sorry.
Do
We've
you
got a
want mine,
little
Mike?
bit.
Do you want mine?
A little. I'll tell you what. Just to show.
If I try and do it like that, is that better?
It's not. Okay, we're having a slight technical
Have you got
issue.
the hand mic?
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. No, because we're gonna pass over mics here. There you go. Have a go at that.
Better. Or is it
There we go.
Am I broken?
No. All right. So you were saying, yeah.
So, for the heat this year, it's been very hot and for quite a long period of time, but not as hot as 2022.
Right.
There was a number of reviews undertaken in 2022, and we've done a lot of work on the railway, across the railway, to understand what we need to do to make it more resilient, and also to understand the risk better.
Because
Right.
you can't. Can I just put in? You can't change the laws of physics
We can't.
on the metal and expansion. So what, in simple terms, have you
Yeah.
done?
So,
Not
as a
just
for
painting
instance,
the rails
with
white or anything like that.
with let's say the track system, if you look at knowing the stress-free temperature of the rails.
Okay.
So if you don't know it, you've got to put in precautions so it doesn't buckle, or the risk of buckling. But you can do work to understand what that stress-free temperature is. Things like you'll see the ballast profiles, making sure that they are full.
Heat up round the sleeper ends.
That's
you mean,
it,
so
yeah.
it gives you
And if you look at
sideways.
on some of the older overhead line equipment, if you look at
Okay.
the adjustments where the weights hang to take up the thermal forces and the expansion and contraction, making sure it's all set up correctly.
all the little pivots properly greased. And
Lots and lots of little things, yeah.
As in many things in life, it's not great big things that make the difference. It's that.
It's
on
lots of little
terrain,
things all of the
little
time.
things.
That's it, yeah.
Fantastic. I mean,
Well, well done.
One of the things we covered on the show the other day actually was the issues on the West of England main line with clay embankments drying out because of the weather, and obviously speed restriction go, which actually, our initial reaction was really, and then you kind of understand it, talk to Network
Yeah.
Rail, it makes perfect sense, and it was obviously the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Is that a concern though now as we get into the wetter weather?
Yeah.
If you get heavy rainfall, that is literally the last thing we need, isn't it? What we need is like lovely constant drizzle.
So I listened to the podcast where that was mentioned. I spoke to Tom Desmond yesterday. So the line between Oxford and Worcester is very similar, single lines, but it's got clay core embankments. Also, although it's double line between Castle Kerry and Taunton. And in September, I used to be the maintenance director for that route. You would get the shrink and then the swell. Obviously, heavy rain on very dry ground, you get flooding.
Right.
But during the autumn season, tamping, ballast trains, and repeat geometry measurement. There's also, if you look at the track geometry, to a person on the train, it might feel uncomfortable, but it's not unsafe.
Yeah.
Certainly something that I experienced. You've got to work with train crew. So, for instance, when I used to travel between Taunton and Castle Kerry at, say, 90 miles an hour, if you had a can of Coke fall off the shelf, the buffet staff would think, hang on a minute, I better report that. But if you look at geometrical tolerances, it was okay. It was uncomfortable, and you need to go and measure it and maintain it, but it wasn't unsafe.
Right.
So I think you've got to work across the railway system to make sure that the staff know, firstly, that we're watching it, that it's safe, and that we've got work planned. And I think, so for instance, what I did between Castle Kerry and Taunton, I reduced the speed down to 70 miles an hour to reassure the train crew that we were on it. Ballast trains, tampers, night after night, their confidence bring the speed back up.
Brilliant.
So it is measurable, it is maintainable.
A lot of human factors there as well, Nick.
Global, very hot summers will obviously cause clay core embankments to dry out.
Right.
But you can, that's not new.
But you can bring it back.
You can,
through.
of course you can.
Well, that's great.
When you hear that, as long as we're around it all the time, but it always impresses me just how much thought and effort behind the scenes that nobody ever hears about, thinks about, or anything else out there. It would just be nice to try and get that across to some of the wider media, wouldn't it? But
that's why we have green signals.
Well, indeed, we're
always 2 or 3 seasons in front of where we are sat today.
Yeah.
So if you look at it where I am now, I'm thinking about the winter. I'm thinking about next summer, ballast trains after Christmas for next summer. If you look at autumn season now, we're I know the leaves are on the trees, but we're pretty much done for
when they won't be.
The railhead treatment trains, the traction gel applicators, the hand treatment gangs, all of that.
Brilliant stuff. Well, listen, I know how much you do on the ground. It's just sweating the details, isn't it?
Yeah.
And getting the people sort
There's
of.
no substitute for that.
No, absolutely. Well, look, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Paul McCartney and George Harrison thing. Share the microphone for a moment.
Yeah.
Look, thanks ever so much, lean in. Thanks ever so much for coming and joining us.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it.
And Nick, thank you so much indeed for popping into Green Signals. We really do appreciate it. And are you around for the rest of the day?
I'm around for the rest of the day. Yeah.
Right.
But not tomorrow.
I'm not. Nancy will want me back at home. I've spent a whole week on the railway so far, and I've got a day off today, but obviously
only one.
Not a proper day off, but I am needed back at home.
Fantastic. Well, Nick, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank
really
you.
do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Right. Cheers. All the best. Alex, all the best.
Thanks, Nick.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for everything you do.
That's right.
Superb. Well, wow. Talk about some serious guests. How cool was that?
Well, that was brilliant.
Hang on, you're not near your mic.
I know, I'm just screwing it up. Right. It's just fantastic to hear all that detail and thought.
Isn't it just?
An experience.
Yeah.
You and I have seen Nick in action many times,
yeah.
And he's all that thinking ahead and the whole global approach to it.
And isn't what Alex said absolutely spot on, which is actually, we can sometimes beat ourselves up. There is so much good that is happening. And actually, an 87% satisfaction rate. No one's going to rest on their laurels with that. They're always going to try and do better and strive forward.
But it's not as bad as the Daily Mail would have you believe.
It absolutely isn't, and that is a reason to absolutely celebrate.
You joked about it, but it is one of the things we do. You and I do lots of TV and radio, trying to set context around stories which would otherwise be... which would be the relentless negative, which is why we're out of bed often at 6:15 in the morning
to do a radio show.
Thanking God it's not TV and it's only radio.
So I'm just going to look over at our tech team and say, how long have we got? But whilst we're still on this stream, so we've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So go on then. We're going to have a break after this, and we're going to do is there anything you're going to go and see straight after this? What's your plan?
Well, having seen that diesel lineup down here with the Clayton and the Deltic and all the rest of it. I want to see what they've done with shunting the mainline steam engines together, because they had the A4 and the A2 nose to tail. I can't believe they haven't spread them all out.
No, and Flying Scotsman was sort of tracked behind a 67. The 67's been moved, so hopefully that means flying
I
Scotsman.
can't believe they've missed a chance of an A1, A2, A3, A4.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? So
definitely want to go and see if they've done that. But this has
that.
been fun. I've enjoyed this. It's been a bit seat of the pants.
It's
and people
been
coming
absolutely
and
tremendous.
But, you know, Alex and Nick were great, but I thought Jeremy
We had
and Mark,
Jeremy Vine.
one of Britain's best loved broadcasters, and three Lancastrians here.
Yeah.
Hey, what's not to like?
3 Lancastrians and someone from Cheam.
Cheam.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Well, they not to worry. Right. So do watch again. We're going to be going live throughout. And then we'll repeat that tomorrow on Saturday. We're not sure exactly what we're going to do on Sunday yet. But
more good guests. We're not quite sure who they'll all be yet.
No, it's all going to be a little bit... You know, if you're of a certain age and you can remember, think 1980s Tiswas. That's kind of what it is.
But with no custard pies.
Well, with no custard pies and no spit the dog, no. We are going to be publishing highlights afterwards, so don't worry about that. There's plenty more content to come. And you can find all the videos from The Greatest Gathering in a playlist that we've put on our YouTube channel. So go and look at the YouTube channel. There's a Greatest Gathering playlist. Everything's there, including, I think, the live shows as well. So everything you'll be able to see there. And do subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all of those who have done. We really appreciate the support.
It means a lot to us.
It does mean a huge amount. But if you subscribe and you activate notifications, then it means that whenever we put something new up, then you'll be notified of that. So yes, I know that's the plan. There's loads more coming. There's loads more films that we're going to show you. So I think we're going to have a great time.
That playlist, it really is Glastonbury, isn't it?
It literally is Glastonbury the Railway. No, Jeremy was absolutely right.
Yeah,
no, that is the plan.
Right.
So thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you ever so
the
much.
live show. Hope you've enjoyed it. And with that, we'll bring proceedings for the morning of The Greatest Gathering on Friday, the 1st of August to a close, and see you this afternoon at 1:45 on our YouTube channel. So it's goodbye from me for now, and
it's goodbye from me, Nigel Harris.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Green Signals.